Hey, Fitzy here, back at it again with another one. On this one here, we're back on that door. I'm going to turn around now and do some really crazy metalwork on this now, so stick around. Last time we worked on this, we put a bunch of patches in it. We put 1, 2, 3, 4 patches in the top side of this door here that had rust on it, okay? The biggest thing I got with this one here now is, look, she's gone around the door handle. She has all rust around here. It's heavy pitted up here, the whole 9 yards. Now, this is a custom shape, okay? You know what would be the easiest things to do with this car? It would be to shave all that off it and put door poppers in her. But no, we're not going to do that. I like a challenge. This here is a complicated shape that I got to try to duplicate this section here. It would be nice if I had a donor car to get it off it, but again, I talk about this car many times. I only know of 2 of them that are around that are left on the island. I know of 1 in the woods, and there's not much left of it. Someday I might go out and have a closer look at it because it's out in Central. But it's the type of car you don't get a lot around here. These Toyotas are extremely hard to find. They were plentiful in their day, but they rusted out bad here on the island, okay? So how are we going to repair this, okay? There's a number of different ways we can possibly repair it. I can turn around and start putting little pieces in it here and there and weld it up and bugging it up and doing it all. The problem I got is I got these little reliefs here. I got little edges here that the actual bolts bolt into, and I got this curvature coming down through here. It's pretty heavy pitting throughout all this here if you look at it here. If I get the right light on it, you can see it's pretty heavy pitting, okay? What I'm going to play around with here now is that's something I haven't done yet, and I'm going to turn around and work on building a buck for this. I'm going to take a piece of wood and carve this out of a piece of wood as close as I possibly can to it to get the shape, and then I'm going to put a piece of steel over top of it, and I'm going to hammer form it down into the piece of wood. Now, I do not have any woodworking tools here. Again, I only got basic tools here, grinders, regular hammers, all that type of stuff. I'm going to make do with what I got, okay? Biggest thing I got to try to find is see if I can find a piece of wood that I can do it in. I got to have something that's probably twice as thick as that there. But when I start hammering on it, I don't want it to split in half, okay? A big 6x6 block or something like that might work. A tree stump would be great if I had something around here, but I got nothing like that here. I'm going to go out, have a look around, see what I can come up with, and we'll go from there. So here's what I found out there. I had to move some stuff around to get it because I never have a lot of this big post stuff around pieces like this here. It's not ideal. It's just the soft wood is all it is. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what kind of wood it is. All I know is it's big and it's thick because when I start pounding on it, I don't want it to split and crack or break in half or anything like that. And I wanted something that had a bit of bite on it this way here as well. Okay, so I'm just making do with what I got around her. Remember that, okay? I'm not a woodworker. I'm not a as I call them, coach worker where he has all the specialty tools and he goes out and gets fancy hardwoods and stuff like that. I'm making do with what I got around. This is an old 6x6 post, probably for a fence or something, that's been cut down. And this is what I've got, and this is what I'm going to use. It'd be nice if I could go from this end here, because then you got all the things this way here to cut it. I got to cut it out the side, so it's going to be, it's going to be thin through the centers of it. It's going to have an unusual shape to it. The ends of it will be better like a tree stump or something if I had a big piece of tree stump that I can cut everything out of this end here and do it on this end, but this is not big enough for what I wanted for, so I got to use the side. I'm making do with what I got. What I went and did then is I took a piece of cardboard and I made a template. Yes, I made a template. So I cut out the shape, marked it out, cut out the shape that I wanted for this here. So this is the shape that I want to start with. I'm going to bring this over now, take this over here. I'm going to turn around now, lay this in place here now, find a nice spot that I'm going to do it. I'm going to take a marker and I'm going to mark it out and we'll go from there. So here's where I'm to. I didn't want to bore you with all my little making templates and stuff like that. I went and made some templates of the depth of this here, okay? So I actually had a depth and the shape of what it looks like. Same with this way here. Trying to find out where this is to here. I also had to figure out these 2 corner sections here because they're flat, but they're not the same height as this here, a little bit lower. But for now, I'm going to leave them alone. So I come over here and I took out some measurements and I marked these out. So I'm going to leave these like they are and leave these like they are. This is the lowest point here. This drops down here and comes up. This has a drop down this much right here. Okay, and then it tapers back from there and tapers up from there out to this line here. I'm not going to come right to the line for now. I'm going to stay inside the line as best I can. Now comes time to cutting it out. Here's what I got. Okay, electric grinders, die grinders, that type of stuff. I'm going to make do with what I got. I'm not going to bore you with that. And once I get the hang of it, I'll show you what I'm doing, because I don't know how good all this stuff is going to work for grinding. I'm going to be making a lot of dust. So I'm going to open up the garage door here now, and I think I'm going to move this down by the door and do it by the door so I can actually be able to see what I'm at and set it up here. So I'm going to start shaping this now and just taking my time. I'm just going to start here in the middle. Okay, I'm just going to start working my way out, shaping it as I'm going. I'm not going to start out here on the other edge. I'm going to take it in the middle here and get my depth right first. And then I'm going to, like, there's a section basically in here that's pretty well flat. And I'm just going to work on that area there. And then I'm going to work my way back to the outer edges. All I'm using is the old grinding stone, and I'm just grinding away and trying to find the lowest point in it. I have the depth here, and I actually grind it down so that it actually fit down inside there, like so. You might not go too deep right away. And there's a section in the middle of this that's pretty well all the same depth. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue on with the grinder now and grind it off. It's slow, but I find it gives it a nice finish. If you look at it there, right? So it's just a matter of me grinding, a bit of smoke and whatever coming off it, but I'm out here by the door, so everything's fine. So I'm going to grind this section back here now, come back this way a bit more with it, and just get a square block here with the depth all the way down. Slowly creeping up on it. What I got done now is I got the disc changed over from the stone to the grinding disc. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to start clearing away some of this section here, grinding this back a little bit. I'm not going to come right back to the line and come back probably to here somewhere, all the way around it, and get this all cut down so it's on a bit of an angle to this here. And all this here has a taper off to this here, same with that one there. And we'll get that done. And we'll come back and see where we're to. It seems to be coming out pretty good here so far, right? Slow going, but hey, you know, the outcome, hopefully the outcome is good as what the work I put into it. I can tell you that now. I made a few bucks before. Most I made are made out of steel. I've never made a wooden buck before like this. So this is going to be interesting to see how it comes out. So back to grinding. It's slowly getting there. I've been using the 24 on it. I got the die grinder here now. I'm going to start cutting in the corners. I've been testing my templates to get my shapes, okay? And I still got a ways to go yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and grind this up, and I'll bring you back when I'm getting a lot closer than what I am there now. So here's where I'm to. This is what I've got done. I've had to clean it off a bit more, and I've taken the die grinder now, and what I'm doing is I'm finding 3 locations here at my little template. I grind it back because I knew that the distance here was the same, out here was a little bit high, out here was a little bit high, okay? And this is what I did. I cut the shape out of it there, cut the shape out of there, cut the shape out of it there. Then I turned around, done the same thing across here because I knew what this shape was. That's that shape there. I turned around and I cut that so that fit down inside there like so. So now I got the entire shape here, 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 and here. I'm just going to start joining them all together there now and shaping them out as I'm going and flowing them into each other. Not going to worry about these yet, okay? Just going to get this here and all this here all ironed out. So I'm just going to start grinding all this back here now between the die grinder and the stone and the disc, and get this all grinded back so it's all nice and smooth. So here's where I'm to. I turned around now and I've after sanding it, grinding it. I've after using a die grinder on it. I've after using the ear grinder on it with a 24. And I've after using a stone on it so far. And I just finished sanding it here, just getting the rough edges off it by sanding it here. And getting it all set up here. So I've after like sizing everything up here, after putting this on it. Laying this in place. It's not bad. It's a little tiny bit deep in the middle. But I can get away with that. And this way here is the same way. When I lay this across it this way, that's the same thing. It's a small bit deep in the middle there. I don't mind that, because you got to realize too that the inside section is going to be a little bit more tighter to put in it anyway. So now the next thing I got to work on is these sections here. If you look at the door, these just taper back a small bit and then they drop off a small bit. But you can see that it goes back and it's pretty well like a 90. There's an edge off of that here. Do drop down a small bit. It's not flat this way here. So now I take a straight edge like so. When I come up across it, you can see the way it tapers off. Okay, right to the edge there. It's probably a 1/4 of an inch or so on the ends here, roughly about. So all I got to do now is work these back. I haven't got to be too concerned about here because I got to cut out a section here and cut out a section here. So I haven't got to worry about the transition from this piece to this piece. I just got to have a little bit of a transition there and a little bit of a transition there. This here I don't have to worry about. Whatever that is here is going to be cut out anyway, because this here is over here more on that piece that I got now. And it's got to be cut into this here. So I'm going to leave it alone like it is. Just taper it back like the way I got that there done. And I'll turn around, and probably what I'll do is I'll make a template now. That'll come up and give me this angle here, so that I can start cutting it from this angle here. So I'll use the flat part of the metal to get this angle here. All I did is I cut out a piece of paper. You can see the way I got it done there and there. So that's my angle. I got to have that on. So I'll take this over now to the buck, size it up. This goes here. It's got to go on this angle here. So I got to cut this back on an angle here so this here fits. So on that flat edge here, and turns down like so. Get that grinded up now. So I faded back these here and got this to fit like so. It's the angle right there. Then I went over and I cut this off where the end of the piece ends, and I marked it over here. As you can see, it ends right here. So I cut it off. So it ends there and it just tapers back from there. See? And that'll end there and it'll taper back from there. So I just got to sand this section here now. Do not touch this section here. Same with thing over here. And taper them back. I would spend a bit of time reworking this, sanding it more. Laying a template over it and fine-tuning it and doing that type of stuff with it, and I think I got it where I'm happy with it. This wood is extremely soft, and you can see the way the rings go on this here. This has run into a problem for me because it just seems like some sections, this green piece here is extremely soft, okay, whatever that is there. But I managed to get by with it, and hopefully it do work. So I'm going to leave this here now. I've after putting my templates in them, everything seems pretty good for it now. And what I got to do is I got to make a cap now that'll go on over the top of this, that'll just have an opening cut in it like this way here. So I got a piece of plywood marked out now, and I'll cut the center out of it. So I've been busy, and I've been just trying to get some stuff done to this. What I did is I marked out as a piece of, looks to be 3/4 inch plywood. I kick it around here. I marked out my template on this here, and I cut it out with a jigsaw, okay? I turned around, didn't have to worry about it too much. I just wanted to have something to have pressure on it right on the outer edges close to where the rolls got to go. What I did then is I positioned this on top of it so it lined up, and I drilled 1/8 holes down through this here. Then what I went and did is I screwed it down through all them holes so that it has positioning. Well, then I took it apart, took it all up, and I'm left with all the holes in this here. Took a piece of metal that I had here, cleaned it off, put it underneath the bottom of this here, like so. Clamped it onto it, drilled my holes down through this here. Then I turned around and I upsized my holes so that I haven't got to worry about the screw actually hooking on that there. So all I need to do now is screw that onto there, lay that in place and line it up. And I can turn around and screw that onto the top of this here. I positioned a piece of steel over the holes in the block of wood. Then I laid this on top of it and I dropped these down through it so that they fell down through the holes in the plate and into the wood. So what I'll do now is I'll put these 4 screws in because they lines up, and then I'll put 2 of them in. So here's what we're up against. A piece of metal is sandwiched between this top piece and the block that has the shape cut out of it. I got a clamped in device because there's a bit rock on the bench there now. And all I'm going to do now is just take a hammer and start hammering that down. Taking my time, working my way around it. Don't go worrying about getting it all in one few smacks. May take me a while. I have to use a bunch of different tools to try to get it to come down. But all I'm going to use here now is I've just dug out some round ball here. This is one of the old handles off of this. And then ball peen. And I got my T-dolly. Got round edges on the end of it. I use that. So whatever I got around her, I'm just going to start pounding this now and see what happens. So you can see the way it's all hammered, how rough it looks and everything. I got it all hammered down. I'm pretty sure I think I'm in the bottom of all that there now. I'm going to take it all apart. Nice thing about this, I can put it back together again if I want to. But I got to dress it all up and up from the other side and be able to dolly it up better than what it is. So I'll take it apart and see what it looks like. So here's where we're to. Still looks rough. Get a bump in it, the height of it, the depth of it. What I'm going to do now is I got the dolly put here on the bench. I'm going to dolly that out a bit. I'm going to dolly that for a while, then I'll bring you guys back to where I got to flatten out some. So I worked it some more and I tightened up my edges and I dollied it some in here and I dollied up my corners, I dollied up my edges in here and I dollied that flatter up there, flatter over there. And I put this line across the top here and, you know, hammered it into it. Right? Then I grind and dressed the file as best I could because I had everything half smooth. It's pretty good there now. Okay? You can turn around to the back side of it, you can see all the dents and all the marks and everything in the back side of it still. Alright? This is 18 gauge metal, so there's lots there to file. I call it filing, grind is what it is, but that's how you do, like with your pick and file of metal, you do much the same thing. It's just that I speed up the process and use the grinder. But no, I'm pleased with that there. Now, next thing we got to do now is I got to get the handle cut out for the handle to go through and the 2 holes so the handle bolts under. But so far, this is looking pretty good. Right? There's a few things I probably would have done different. There you go, see? The little, one of the things I was using there, this here, is a real soft metal, and it was marking the metal really, really bad. If you turn it over, you can see all these little dots up here. and all of that's down here. That was from that. That's fine, you live and learn, okay? When it was come out of the buck itself, this line wasn't up here, and I just clamped it into the vise here. Okay, clamped it into the vise. That's all I did with it there, as you can see. I clamped it in there, and I took this here and hammered it across here. Just to sharpen that up a bit, because there's no edge on this side here, especially in around here where the door handle bolts on. That piece there was just faded off the flat, so I had to put an edge in there. So it actually, all this was recessed down a little tiny bit more than the other. So all them there are pretty close. Had to do some massaging in along here in order to get this one here to fit better. But that one there fits perfect. And that one there fits good too. So I'm happy with that there now. I'm pleased with where that's to there now. What I got to do now is get the handle, get the holes cut out for here and here, and get 2 holes drilled for the actual door handle itself. I went over and sized up the other door and noticed that this much of the handles, neat old handles on these, see the way it works? And I sized up the way where the handle was too. And by close inspection, this little spot right here is the bottom. Look down through there, that's the bottom, that's the length of it there. So I took that measurement there, make a square hole out of it. There's nothing over here, but I'm going to make it the same size as this one here. I come over here then, and I took this measurement with this here, measured it off there, got that measurement from the other door, put that there and marked it out. Now I'll trim them out there and mark them out, and I'll know what got to be cut out there. There you have it. I just drilled out a couple of holes here, and then I drilled out 4 corners here inside the hole, cut it off with a zip cut wheel. Then I turn around, I start sanding and filing it, use the die grinder on it, and then I just fine tune it down to the end of it with the actual files I got here. So now that I got that done, I'm going to do a test fit on the door handle, make sure all that's going to fit up here, and see what it looks like. A comparison. Now, I can honestly tell you, if you really want to get particular and look at this here, you will see differences. But you've got to realize one thing. You're never going to be able to look at both sides of this car at the same time. So once this is put in here, you're not going to know the difference. I think this here is a little tiny bit wider here and here. Could be. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I'll probably take measurements just to make sure. But I'm really not too concerned about it. As long as I got the overall shape there, it looks like that. Perfect for me. Curiosity's getting the better of me. That's through the middle there. That's through the middle there. Little tiny bit. Now I ain't talking, is that even worth thinking about? It physically looks bigger. Oh, I'm happy with that. I'm pleased with that. Now there's a few imperfections and everything, and you can see the little imperfections in and along that there. A lot of that, I'm not too much worried about that, okay? I could have done a better job on it, yes, fine. I could have chose to beat this out. It would have been nice if I used wood or brass or something. When it comes to the hammering of it, I never ever mind a bit of few marks and everything from steel and stuff like that. And there's a reason why you see me use a ball peen hammer and stuff like that. A lot of guys will get right into using like plastic hammers, all that type of stuff. That's fine as kind. They're trying to finish it so it's finished, and you can actually sand it and paint it like it is. That's not me. I'm a bodyman, okay? I'm looking to get this close to where I can actually do body work on it, but it's not going to be a lot of filler work, okay? So you look closely at that there. You'll see a scattered flaw in there, scratches, little dings and stuff like that. And I can probably work it and get more of them out, but for the most part, I'm pleased with that, okay? So now, next thing is I'm going to trim this up. All I'm going to do is I'm going to make a square block, okay? I'm going to go over and mark the car in a few spots and make sure that I put the door handle back in the right place. And then I'm going to go over and just do the cutting board on this here, overlap it, cut it around like that there, and weld it in the car. All I did here is I marked a straight line that passes right through the center of these bolts. So it's out past the area we're going to be cutting out. Same thing here, the marks are up here. Then I measure from the center of the hole to the edge, 85 millimeters. And edge of the hole to there, 85 millimeters, same thing. And then it was 90 from here, okay? I went and used that because it was a round number on the thing. I went and measured it in standard, and it was coming in the middle of stuff. So I said, no, let's flip it over and see if it's easier on the millimeter side. So, hey, my guys, you metric guys are going to love that, aren't you? Anyway, I got that done there now. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to trim this up along here. I got to watch this here because I got this here to deal with as well, see? So I'm going to take that right tight to there, and then come over here, come up, and then come across here and down like this here. You think I might just want to take it inside this hole here? Maybe I might do that. I don't know. No, I'm trying to have a nice crisp edge there, and I already got the crisp edge, so I'll just be tricky doing this lock cylinder here. Around this lock cylinder, I might come across this way here and come up on an angle. That's probably what I end up doing, come up on an angle here. I'll trim it to fit that there. All right, let's get cutting. Now I had to do some tweaking along here because this got a crown on it, so I had to tweak it a small bit, put a roll on the panel itself. It's very, very subtle, the roll on it, but there is a roll on it, as you can see. I had to tweak that to get that there, go like that. I'll take my measurements from the center here now, out to here, center to here, out to here. Same thing over here. I'll make sure these are lined up across here, and then I gotta trim it up a bit more down here on the bottom, so I'm gonna avoid that. So I might take a bit more off the bottom here. I might just leave that there and start coming across this way somehow with it. Just so I got lots of meat. I don't want to be too close to this edge here. No, I'll trim another bit off. I can come back another little bit and see what it looks like then. So here's where I'm to. I turned around now and I've got my way worked around it, done the cut and both, cut the piece out of it. I run into some issues up here. I had a low spot right here and a low spot here. I never rubbed my hand over the panel because I've had to rub my hand over this now, and after noticing a few other low spots on this as well. I noticed when I was cleaning it up, I could see like there was a scattered dent in the side of it. But I never looked at this spot here, and what's after happening now is that I'm having troubles keeping this section up. I got to keep this up. I've after cutting this now again and tweaking it, bringing this up, welding it. I got it there now. I'm happy where it's to there now. I don't mind a little bit of low spots here and there over here, but around this here, I prefer to keep that the right height in this area here, because when I goes to put the lock cylinder back in with the clip on it, I'm only allowed so much there that I can actually put filler on that, right? So it's a slow going process. I just have to let that cool right off there now, and I go by now, and I'm just going to close up the gaps and start welding it in there and just making the distance between them all smaller. So I'm just going to go ahead now and get that done. Not taking much for it to move up here, I can tell you that. I leave that alone there now. I can't put too much heat in that corner. People talk about cutting stuff in circles and stuff like that. All I'm doing is I'm just looking to control my heat. I come straight across here and I stopped, and I can feel the difference in it, right? Now if I had to keep going up here on this side here, I would have run into problems with too much heat in that corner, so I'm leaving it alone there now, letting it cool off. You saw me here and I angled the gun this way here, so I'm welding to this here and just going off of it to weld onto this stuff. This stuff's extremely thin to weld, right? And I'm just taking my time with it. And that's the reason why I angled it here and I angled it here, because I'm trying to weld from this to this, right? If I had to put it on this here, I'm going to end up blowing holes and all this here. So I'm going to let that cool off there now. Down here seems good. Just right there. Oh, it's coming around again there now. There's a low spot right here on that corner there, and I think I'm only going to worry about it. It's just a little wave, right? There's my straight edge. You can see it there, look. The way it goes through there. I could probably work that after, when I take the door bar out of it. I might even work it a bit more now, one night before it goes welding any more of it. So anyway, just gonna leave that there and I'll let that cool off for a while. Not gonna blow no cold air or nothing on it, because it'll just shrink everything up on me and it might cause troubles, right? So. I'm after working that area now, and I got it a little bit better. There's still a small spot there, but I can live with that. Up here close is nice, right? It's better than it was, right? But that's all you're dealing with. I'm in the middle of a panel here now, so I'm going to run into this issue here with heat up along here. So I'm just going to take my time. Over here I should be fine. Right here I should be fine. Right here and right here is where my problems are going to be. So that's cooled off now, and I got that dollied up, so I'm going to go ahead now and start welding it around. I think I'm just going to weld one side, let it cool. No, I'm going to weld One side and one side and let it cool. I'm going to keep this far away from the heat each other, because this here, the heat's going to transfer from here to here. So I'm going to weld this one here a bit, weld this one here a bit, leave it alone. Weld this one here a bit, weld this one here, leave it alone. Yeah? I'll put the heat in this first, I think, because up here is not so bad, but the heat down here, this is where all my trouble is going to happen, right? So I'm going to go ahead now and start welding this up. I'll bring it back from time to time to show you what I'm at here. I'm just going to start welding up along here, welding next to my welds here. I'm going to skip one, I'll weld the one, I'll skip one, I'll weld the one, I'll skip one, I'll weld the one like that. I'll do the same thing over there. Well, that was slow going, and no matter how slow I went, I still got it, okay? This whole thing is after dropping on me, right into here, all the way around. I'm going to have dolly and everything up here now. I tried, and like I let it cool off, and I come back and I just weld a couple of spots and leave it alone, and weld a couple of spots and leave it alone. And no, but she's still pulled on me. She's dropped there, and she's dropped basically, all that there is just dropped into the panel, so I'm going to have to work it all there now and see what I can come up with. And I'm not going to bore you with that because I got my head into this now and I want to try to see if I can get it all straightened away. I'll bring you back when it gets close to finished. Well now, that was a chore in itself. I got into it and wanted to stay into it and get it all done. The problem I had is where I welded this in here. This metal is so thin. It just wanted to pull on me, okay? It just pulled away from me. This metal was heavier than this metal here, and I was out in the middle of the panel here. And, you know, I had an open hole here that I had to weld around, and up here along this edge here. And I ended up, this entire crease here dropped. It had a low spot here, I had a low spot here. And I'm only limited, I only got so much room. I can get, basically from underneath, I can get this much here, look. That's what I can get from underneath, very easy. Then the rest of it is I got to maneuver stuff around. Like over here, I had a lot of troubles. I can't get in there, that spot there. I can get my hand right there, and after trying to get a bunch of stuff in there, vice grips, doing it all, I got it in there. It is all up. It's up to where I'm happy with it, okay? All the way along. Even the crease up here, okay? But it's far from straight, okay? This here, I know this is all going to have to be filled. It's the easiest way to start. That's got a little bit of a going on across there, and I can hold it in the light and show it to you. Look, you can see the way that looks there now. Look right down across it. You can see the amount of work that I've after doing on that. Now you could sit down and try to work that more. That to me, that's plenty. That's best kind there. I don't mind that for a little bit of filler work and stuff like that. And same with up here, this crease here. The biggest thing with it was I didn't want to have this thick here, okay? So I had to rework the actual seam. And you can see, like, there's still a bit of light coming in underneath here and there. Nothing major. That was a lot worse than that there. The handle is up flush to the rest of the door, as you can see, okay? Small bit low there, but it's high there as well. Right along there is a bit high. I'm not too concerned about it, like, in terms of that's where I would have took body work to if I was doing a repair on a car damage. I'd get it to this point here. I've been playing around with here trying to get it perfect. This stuff is like tin foil, okay? It's not this stuff here. I can work that stuff all day and flatten it out smooth. You can see the finish I can get on that there from doing the work on that. But this stuff up here, no, it's like trying to work tin foil. But anyway, I got it done. I'm happy with it. Let's bolt the door handle on, see what it looks like. Well, you can see it there now. There's the original section. There's what it looked like. Look at the holes in it. There's the new section. Compare the two of them. Way they're shaped. Way they're shaped. Got a nice new section in there. That's nice and solid now. And there you have it. Nice flush fit all the way around there. Look up at it. It's got the nice inlay, like it always did. The lever actually moves. I haven't got the latch hooked up, but that comes down like so. That there was an interesting project. I've after making a lot of bucks over the years. Most of them I made them out of steel. I used presses, and then I used hammer forming dies as well to form different things. But I figured I'd give wood a try, and I was amazed at how nice that came out with so little effort. Most of my time on this here was spent making the buck and repairing this door on the outside of it. This here wasn't the issue, it was just the metal is so thin around it, right? And, you know, but hey, it's It's an interesting way, and I'm very pleased with how it came out. It's another piece of the puzzle now. Everything from here up now on this door is all repaired. There's no rust anymore, no holes anywhere. A good solid base now for the door handle. So there's everything that I used to make this setup, okay? That's all the tools. I got them all laid out there now. You can see there's nothing fancy there. That jigsaw is probably about the most oddball thing you're going to see in my tool collection. I picked that up years ago. But mostly everything else here, it's just a bunch of hammers. Okay, got a few grinders. You could probably use one grinder for it all, but I had a few of them here, and I use the ear ones a lot. Of course, my selection of hammers, I had them there as well. Okay, I use them for round edges on them for beating stuff out. I use this here for rounding out stuff. I use this sort of round edge on this here, only to find out it'd mark things up. There's only a soft steel, right? And I had a block of steel, an old hammerhead, then an old spoon, a couple of blocks of wood, you know, and then the little templates made. Nothing fancy, okay? Old seamstress tape, always comes in handy, that stuff too. A few files for filing things up, the drill, a few drill bits, a few screws, and of course, a block of wood and a piece of plywood. Just old scrap I got lying around. And you can see there's the pieces there, and that falls right in there. That's the one I cut out of it. That falls right into the buckler. But you can see it's nothing, you know, I was more concerned with getting the shape here, making sure the outer diameter is the same. I got them two little layoff sections here for the actual bolts to mount to. That's all I was concerned about. So, you know, it doesn't take a lot to turn around and dream up a way to make your own panels, okay? Hopefully this was helpful and give you some ideas. You know, you see a lot of guys like, this is nothing spectacular. This is an old fence post or something that I had kicking around here, okay? It would probably be better with a better chunk of wood, because having the grains going this way, it runs into troubles because this stuff here is really, really soft. It'd be nice if you have like a log or something and carve it out of this end here. It'll be a tighter fit, and you'll find that it'll hold its shape a lot easier, a lot nicer. Like right here, I can actually feel that coming across there. I can actually feel each layer, right? But it was good enough to do what I wanted to do, okay? But that's it. There's the outcome there. Full finished product. Another piece of the puzzle done. Next on this one here is I'm going to be getting into doing the bottom of the door and getting that door bar out there. But the main structure of the door now is all straightened away. All the hard pieces are done in my mind. I got one more hard piece to do right here, okay? And we'll keep that for the next video. So anyway, that's another one for you. I hope the tips are good, and until next time. Where you going? Huh? What?